Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is Broman Clash right here, and today I want to talk about a topic that everybody's been through it, and that's the topic of opinions, critique, and all that stuff. But think about it. What are opinions? They're basically a source of they they're just thought-provoking emotions that are expressed through words, and they come from a perspective of one person or more. It's not like a generally known fact. A fact is something that can be proven, while an opinion is just a feeling. Some people try to say, like, oh yeah, an opinion. Basically, I'm just stating my opinion, but yet they're being rude about it. Now, sometimes you gotta ask yourself, what does it mean to actually have an opinion? Is it like saying it real loud, boisterous, and saying like, yes, this is my opinion, and all others should just shut up? That's not an opinion. That's just being rude, and that's just being disrespectful. Now then, what is a fact? It's something that is generally accepted by, you know, by the masses, and is generally accepted not only through books, but also through scientific study, through scientific research, through life itself, through just basically it can be overall accepted. An opinion is just a feeling that few have. And sometimes opinions can be twisted and turned into fact. And that's real sad. For example, and I know some of you are just gonna get tired of me mentioning racism and all that other crap. Originally racism was just an opinion. It was just a social concept. Then it turned into a fact. That's what I meant by, when opinions turn into fact. Just like how a lie can turn into a truth. And some of you may look at me crazy when I mention Adolf Hitler. And he said, no matter how crazy it sounds, if you pound it into the people's heads, eventually they'll just accept it as common knowledge and as a fact, no matter how ridiculous the opinion is. Maybe not opinion, maybe not in the exact words, but what he's trying to say is, look, if you try to say it like this, if you got the minds of the people right then and there, then essentially any opinion can turn into a fact. But what is an opinion? Like I mentioned before, it's just a feeling. It's just a thought. It's just what did I say before? It's just what you think, as opposed to what is common knowledge. What is common knowledge is the fact that everything in life has a purpose. Like the decomposers, they eat the dead. Carnivores, they eat meat. Herbivores, they eat grass. Parasites, they infect the host. They either benefit the host or they inhibit the host. Then there's, omnivores, which can eat anything, ranging from like meat to grass, sometimes even inanimate objects like plastic, no, inedible, such as plastic, trash, metal, glass. I want to say rock because rock is naturally made, and some rocks do taste good. Taste rock candy, and I don't mean crack, okay? Because that kind of candy you don't want to eat. But anyways, see, fact is something that everybody can accept. An opinion, like I said before, it's just a feeling. But it's kind of sad when people think, when certain groups of people, when they say like, oh, this person is the best and that's a fact. Okay, KRS-One, for me, his title, his nickname, one of his nicknames is the teacher. And he teaches people. And sometimes the teacher, not KRS-One, the teacher, they will teach you, but they won't give you the answer. You have to find out the answer on your own. And then once you discuss it in the class, the teacher might actually learn something. So essentially, what is common known fact is the fact that, hey, even teachers can still learn because time, it stops for no one. That means you're in a constant state of learning. That's a fact. Old masters, they'll just be like, this is something new. They know for a fact that they're constant students. While the student thinks they are a master because they grasp one concept completely, not all of them. I used to think that way. I used to think opinions were everything. And then come to realize the fact that, hey, opinions don't mean anything at all. And facts, you can either debunk facts, you can still hold on to them, or you can just say, hey, look, I got something that can actually counter this. Because, they say like cancer is incurable, but there are many ways to cure cancer. It's just that, people tend to make money off of it. More than trying to find a cure to save millions, they would rather make millions to keep those intact by keeping them like in a drug-like state. Now, from off that subject, I know I'm just saying things randomly now, but it does pertain to something. What is an opinion? What is criticism? Now, when it comes right down to criticism, see, look, this is how criticism goes. Criticism is not like, saying, your artwork sucks. You really need to do better, because that's what I faced before. During like my junior high school days, and I hated junior high school, but that was also my time of awakening, realizing a greater problem. But, high school, that's when I got a real good taste of critique. And, at first I didn't understand it because I didn't know, like, wait a minute. Either people told me like they liked it because they didn't want to hurt my feelings, or they say it sucked without even saying like what I'm doing wrong. All that crap, man. So it was a bit polarized. So when somebody said, hey, look, sat me down, he said, you're doing this all wrong. Fix this up right here. That was critique. Somebody said, drawing Sonic characters, you draw them nearly all the time, that's getting childish, man. So change it up. And, that helped out. He talked about my artwork and said, hey, look, this is what you need to fix. And, this is what you need to do. You need to, do a variety of things. And you know what? At first, I didn't understand it, but, somebody had enough courage to just tell me outright, or just said, you know what, man? Just do this. It'll help out. Trust me. Though you're on the right path, you need to do something. And you want to know what the funny thing is? Did I take it to heart? At first I did, but at the same time I just said, as much as I try to draw human characters, they never really interest me as much. But when I draw anthropomorphics, that's my specialty, and I love it because you can customize them. Sonic, to me, was like the only anthropomorphic style that I knew back then. But as I looked more, I realized, like, hey, there were more anthropomorphic styles than I have actually realized. And that was the great part. And I said, you know what? I'll accept it. And that was true criticism. He didn't say, oh, your artwork sucked. He didn't say, like, all that. He just broke it. He just gave it to me straight, gave it to me honest, and gave it to me right. And I just said, I couldn't say anything about it. And I was just like, you know what? You're right. And, I thank him. He was a good guy. He was a good man by saying that. And, I appreciate it. At first, I just wanted to show him up, but then I'm just like, man, then eventually I just realized, what was the point of showing people up? That makes no sense. I'm not trying to say, like, art is art, but, certain people have certain tastes. Me, anthropomorphics, I like it. Sonic characters, I like it. But, like I said before, Sonic characters nowadays, especially Sonic recolors, are just like the Andy Warhol of today. You know how Andy Warhol, did the Campbell soup and, just print it all over again and different styles and then just get that effect? That's what Sonic recolors are. That's my critique on them. Some of them look cool, but you know, overpowering them, not so much. I mean, if you want me to be honest, like overpowering Sonic characters is somewhat like, why? Does the Sonic character represent your own insecurities or something else? Like why? But in the end, why am I rambling on about Sonic characters or Sonic recolors? You know, everybody knows this for a fact. Like, hey, look, Sonic's popular, that's a fact. Mario's popular, that's a fact. You know, all that other stuff. Zelda's pretty popular, that's a fact. But at the same time, you know, when it came right down to critique, opinions, because they go hand in hand. Because when you give an opinion, that means you giving out your own feeling. But when you give a critique, you mix in your feeling along with a perspective. And when you mix in that perspective, that's beautiful. But then, you know, when it's right down to fact, you gotta sit down with the person and just tell them in a calm manner. Don't get boisterous, don't get uppity, don't get, you know, snide or snarky. That's the thing. Don't get snide or snarky. Because eventually people will just be like, how's that going to teach me anything? Because you're not helping me at all. You're just laughing at my artwork more than you're trying to help me. But if somebody sits you down and tell you calmly, like, I like what you did right here, but you need to do this right here in order to, you know, spruce it up a bit, do it real good, do it real nice, and then you'll eventually get better at it. That's critique. That's beautiful. See, look, when you get boisterous saying like, oh, it sucks, it's amateurish, you know, without giving like a liable reason, like just say, hey, look, you know, this is what I suggest. You know, I like the concept of it, but, you know, change it up a bit, you know, make it, you know, cooler. You know, such as, you know, you gotta keep it calm, you gotta keep it real, you gotta keep it right. An opinion is cool, critique is better, but when you start adding negativity to it, it gradually becomes sour. It doesn't help anything. And you know, criticism is good. I mean, back when we were younger, you know, when you got picked on a lot, you didn't like to be critiqued because you heard, you know, so much about it, and you were just like, man, what are you trying to do, pick on me? Honestly, like, what's the point of you even talking? Like, nobody wants to hear that. But honestly, you know, when it comes right down to opinions, you can either listen to them and say, never thought of it that way. But if you know they're pure nonsense, leave them. But if you know that they have a point, you know, take heed. And if they're critics, you know, not bullshit ass critics that you see on TV that are talking about, oh, this is what they were wearing on the red carpet. You know, not talking about, you know, the musical content, not talking about the artists, you know, how the way the artists, you know, talks about their message, not even what they represent, but they talk about how they look, how the sales are going. Like me, I'll listen to the lyrical content. I listen to the message. I look at the representation. And if you're not in, and if your representation doesn't match my representation and I see it as a potential destructive force, I'll either A, not listen to it, or B, just say, no, you know, you can't do that. And give out viable reasons why. You know, give out reasons why this won't work. Why, not even in an artistic sense, but in a more of an uplifting sense. How the way you can raise the consciousness of people. You know, raise them to have an emotion. Raise them to actually question it and to critique and just say, wait a minute, I don't agree with this. But then again, what are we afraid of? Are we afraid of getting picked on? Or are we afraid of changing? Because with opinion and critiques, they come with change. And just like with fact and truth, they come with change. What's wrong with change? If you change for the worse, then for the worst, you need help. But if you change for the better, change for the best, then there's nothing wrong. You realize that, hey, just like how I did, hey, my artwork was horrible back then. But then you realize, like, wait a minute, I made a great improvement. This is beautiful. So all the criticism, all the opinions, all the facts, all the, all that helped me. But those who picked on me, screw them. But those who helped me with criticism, thank you. And with that, YouTube, I would like to say, out one at one. Hope you have a great day today. This is Broman Clash saying, if you want to, you can like, share, subscribe, or comment if you want to. That's your choice. And hope you have a great day today. Alright? Later.